Opening up the third eye can lead to psychosis. To open up your third eye too soon, ill-prepared, becomes the quickest way to arriving to your natural state. However, most people will fall into psychosis because it's also the quickest way to collapse every single thing that you are not. Through curiosity, through false awakening agendas created by psyops, using platforms such as social media, such as this, gives lazy people the opportunity to start working with their upper registry. Never mind the shadow work, never mind the basement, clearing out the basement of your embodiment and your temple. Never mind awakening the sleeping dragon, where even the dragon dwells and sleeps within a cave, a temple, where he or she can rest, digress, regroup, regather, repurpose. That the sleeping dragon within its cave, within its crystallized dwelling, one can argue that the awakening truly exists when the dragon is still. We live in a world where we have an opportunity to cross-examine many perspectives. So arriving to an awakening and an opening of your third eye construct, the same, there are many ways in arriving to the top of the mountain, yet the mountain is still the same, and the top still has sort of a hierarchical value when you're looking at it or experiencing it through the divine masculine, or simply put, the masculine energy. So you see a mountain, you see the yang symbol, Y-A-N-G, which is the almost like the pyramid, right? And the reverse pyramid, the yin, is this way. You put them together, then you have your Merkaba. And understanding the Merkaba from different schools of thoughts, it's your chariot, it's your actual masculine and feminine vortex in how you are capable of traveling in the physical, in the astral, and other realms. Hidden, laying dormant in scripture, esoteric lessons in schools, ancient mystery schools, as you may want to say. The journey of everything that you are not, of what you're experiencing within this timeline. Being born, going to school, following a religion or not following a religion, picking a politic or political agenda, or not picking a political party agenda, being in it or being out of it, A or B. And then C is like, what's wrong with you? C means let's medicate you, or let's keep away from you, or C means choice C means let's keep you over there, right? It can lead to many other arguments. Then there's the great observer, keeping in context of the third eye, which is 360 degrees, spherical, all-seeing. Unlike your two eyes that work in tandem with your entire somatic and central nervous system, so that you can see and sense and receive and take all of this fractal information and stimuli in plural, so that you can interpret the mainframe picture of how you're experiencing this world. And that mainframe picture is also tethered to the oversoul imprint. And the ones who are not aware of the oversoul, the collective meta-conscious of all of us, which is the doorway is the subconscious mind into the unconscious, they would say. The unconscious defined esoterically would be infinite possibilities, infinite creations, also infinite levels of dormancy. Depends how you want to approach and see it. So the great opening of the third eye is a construct of building up the mainframe of your physical embodiment, which has been shown in pyramids alike. But to see it from within is to see also not just its mirrored reflection, but its counterpart, which is this divine feminine coming in union finally together. In order to do that, and I don't mean gender, in order to do that in your body, male or female alike, The master yourself, or the inner alchemist, or the mystic, or the Kung Fu practitioner. I'm talking about real Kung Fu. I'm talking about real esoteric, traditional, ancient Kung Fu. Before colors of belts and all that was created. Before competition became the mainstream of attraction. And before and during the required or the necessary to defend yourself, your community, your people, your family, being tired of being attacked by predators in nature, or by humans. So the evolution of the Qigong, or the Chinese yogic interpretation of energy work and Qi cultivation, started to intertwine a value of a systematic approach of fighting, such as in fighting animals. Leading on to something. I'm going to use one paradigm, Xing Yi Chuan, which is shape of the heart, mind, fist. Is a system that's arguably over 2,000 years old. It's the only system that consists of a 12 animal fighting system. And the two that comes to me, for the sake of relaying this message, is the dragon, is the snake. The dragon and the snake are two of the 12 animals within this fighting system. See, but shape of the heart, mind, fist, which means fighting outside of you until you maybe lose so many times, or you win so many times, and you start understanding how the ego construct works, with hierarchy being the best. Right? Then the demasculation of the hierarchy, which is the disintegration of your ego, of feeling that you're not good enough, that you're nobody, you're at point zero, you're in reset, such as Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and the old ways of fighting and training and Kung Fu. And then to rebuild you up, same thing in the military, right? You build you up into nothing, like in the Marines. Then they recultivate you, which is, all of it is still a systematic approach of understanding and the mastery of the ego system construct, which is the arriving to the third density of formation of your conscious self, which is the third chakra, you would say, which is the solar plexus. The solar plexus is the culmination of, and I've said this in past videos, the same, and I did repeat, and I do tend to repeat myself because it's just the best way I can say it. All of who you are, all of who you're not, reveals itself. The revealing, so with no judgment from your higher self, you start to approach your solar plexus chakra system, or the 1, 2, and 3, the entire lower dantian construct, no different than an oracle of information. For you train your embodiment to work with all of the constructs that you have. And the third eye has no choice, but to start to open up and flourish to her natural ability in doing so. But most people want to train the snake head, right? The snake head. You see a third eye almost? If you look at the anatomy, or if you look at the anatomical construct of the way the third eye actually opens up when she is uncoiled. See, the energy of the snake is a fractal of information to understand from within. The energy of a human, once awakened once again, is the same energy vortex of Mother Earth. Now, if you have the opportunity of holding a lively snake like this, maybe a boa constrictor, most people just see the snake as coiling on the outskirt, and yes, that's true. But if you have an opportunity to do so, and even if you don't, you can imagine this. There are on a cellular microscopic level, there are microscopic coils happening within the snake. It's not just one big coil. It's the one big coil is the result of all of these interactions between how the snake works energetically. So to understand the spirit of the snake is a beautiful and powerful way to understand how you start working with the somatic, etheric, right, fascial, lymphatic, central nervous system level of connecting this aspect of your body, as I said, and your third eye. There's no separation. So psychosis is when you start living with the head of the snake chopped off, because most people are too lazy to put in the work to embody that of who you are. Allows for the soul to work in synchronicity with the dynamics of your kung fu, which means the work that you put in within your temples, which is you. And then everything outside of you, whether it's your farm, your work, is the mirror reflection, is now it's like saying you are the map. And now you work and walk with clarity because of the inner school that you're working with, because you're working with inner meditation, inner qigong, inner kung fu, and working with your third eye, and the understanding with what I'm trying to reveal to you with the third eye becomes so natural, so divine, yet so rooted. You have no choice but to be a living lesson and testament to you, by you, for you, in ways that most people, or no one, and most people will not comprehend, nor should they, because they should be working on themselves. Understanding the system of the 7 chakra systems becoming a lively, it's not just simply always and only sitting there and allowing to arrive. Because what's going to happen is that anything that's occluding, stagnating, disrupting the free flow of your ability to move in your way. This is how I'm moving my way, because I'm actually tapping into that of a snake. But there's 11 other animals per se, just like there are 12 zodiacs or energetics valued. Just as there's 12 disciplines that walked alongside with Joshua. Once you start unraveling the code, then you no longer fall in love with the snake in the process of arriving to the third eye. You no longer fall in love and become hypnotized by the story, because believe me and you, if you hung out with me long enough, I will hypnotize the shit out of you. For what? I get nothing in return except for karma. So the exchange will never benefit me. But just like the snake, it's humans' natural expression to not be separate within their individual mind expression and experiences and the oversoul. So what I'm saying is that it's very human to enter the mind of another soul. It's very human to be telepathic. It's very human to be psychic. And it's very human to activate your third eye construct. But it is also very human to, these days to provide distortions. See, anything that I speak of online, I can literally hold classes on. I'm not saying that I know that I know that I know, but what I know, I put on enough, I put in the work. I make it my life. Where if you enter my ocean, and I choose to be the fucking shark in this ocean, I don't give a fuck what animal you are. So instead of fighting the shark, you enter the ocean and you become one with the entire system, the entire ecosystem. All of a sudden I turn into a dolphin. Because who cares, right? What I'm saying is that the ego construct, I'm showing you energy. I'm showing you how dark and deep I can get. With the best of my abilities, I can show you the dark aspect of your third eye construct. It's because if you don't have yourself, and if you are truly afraid and have not developed the kung fu of losing yourself into the world of insanity, ain't nobody gonna catch you. Ain't no Joshua gonna come here and say, I saved you, because the whole point was that you were supposed to build this up for yourself. You were supposed to build up your own arc construct. All of the memories that you obtain in this world are all of the seeds and the blueprint of the future. But you have forgotten, many have forgotten, Believing in me and my words right here is irrelevant. I'm simply one that that works with self-activation every single day. So if I put this camera in my face, so if I start working with this camera, my mind doesn't always have to understand, because the level of clarity that I work with, I'm almost sure, that who I'm attracting on the other side of me is working minimally at that level the same. So when I speak on camera, it's because I'm celebrating every single one of you. So going back to the snake, you start training in Qigong to activating not just the somatic expression of allowing the Kundalini to arise, but to work on creating the blueprint that exists already within your vessel, of the energy that travels through not just your spine, but through your chongmai, through other vessels, again used in to be understood in Chinese medical rationale, and in the school of Xingyi Chuan, esoteric at least. I'm using this paradigm with the words that I'm using, or with the terms that I'm using, to allow the masculine, which is part of the fascial, tendinal, muscular, and ligamental connection, which is the yang, which is the masculine aspect, right? To allow that to support the upright chi, which is the chi of the righteous chi. They call it the righteous chi. Well, the upright chi is the chi of feeling upright. That is the masculine component of becoming the vessel, the antenna, the temple, of not just simply a still temple, but to be moving while still. Again, grabbing a snake who hasn't coiled yet, and the lively nature of the snake who hasn't risen yet. The blueprint is more important to the development of the third eye. This is because it's the human expression of soul with form, that you become the professor, the student, the engineer, the architect, the artist, the singer, the Kung Fu practitioner. It's all the same. Different densities of experience, but it's all the same. Once you are able to generate new levels of neuroplasticity within the temperament of your discipline of working with your Kung Fu, then with no expectations, when the time is divinely precise, working in complete unity consciousness, she rises. She rises when she chooses to. As the rising of the flourish of the fruition, or the opening of the third eye starts to approach a new way of experiencing the physiology, the anatomy, will determine the level of your ability to see and experience, interact multi-dimensionally. Your third eye will not jump the gun knowing that it will completely disintegrate your body. So once you start to trust the process, once you understand the energetics of the snake, and I teach courses like this and helping people to come back to themselves using the paradigm of Xingyi Chuan, as in snake boxing. And we don't just go straight for snake. We don't just go straight into snake training. You see, there are levels to this to allow the body to develop I call it the dragon body, but it is the dragon body, they say, which is including the snake, because the dragon is the graduation of snake. If you think about it like this, the dragon is a master of both the earth and the ethers. The snake is the master of all of Mother Earth in both an instinctual way, tribal way, and energetically. Because all 7 chakras are almost always on the ground, receiving and working with the yin of the earth. Snake has mastered every single possible dimension that you could perceive within the earth. You think of earthworms too, they're cousins of the snake. You have to see the whole intelligence. Don't just limit yourself. And the snake finally graduates to seeing from that dimension. Snake grows its wings and finally becomes the dragon. That's why the Chinese or Japanese dragon appears to look like a snake, because now the dragon can land, but it's no longer limited to simply the yin of the earth. Right? The macrocosm of our first experience outside of our bodies is to be able to walk on earth. We forgot about that, our feet. The microcosm is part of the whole spiritual amnesia construct of an experience. You could call it an experiment, whichever way you want to see it. You're not wrong either way. It's up to you and only you to be able to develop new levels, as I keep saying, neuroplasticity of chi construct and network, which is not limited to the fascial tissue redeveloping within the cellular structures or the interstitial structures between the cells. It all on a molecular level, when you're working on Qigong, when you're working on Kung Fu, when you're working with snake, on a molecular level, you start to develop a new embodiment in a very physical sense. Some things within 1 to 3 weeks that you become more stronger, like if you're working with Kung Fu with me or Xing Yi Chuan. Some things take 3 months, where you start developing more internal power, right? You start developing intercostal muscles that even working out in the gym won't develop, because these are muscles that you start to apply and to work with. And then level 3, not specifically like saying that there's just 3 levels, but level 3 would be to redevelop your fascial tissue network in ways that will seem incomprehensible to modern day science, but they're starting to discover it. But it's already there. I've known about this since the early 90s. I just wouldn't be able to have spoken like this at this level without having had read books and to be able to put the words behind it. But I would say, as a layman, I've been working on this, and most Kung Fu people will understand exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the real guys and gals. And once you develop that neuroplastic network that's no longer separate between your embodiment, your nails, your hair, the tongue, your intent, your Kung Fu, then you release it. Level 4. You release it. You become all of it and nothing at the same time, in the same way that if you've been practicing piano all of these years and you just want to see what it's like to play without looking at technique, strategy, or anything, the principles of you start to now reactivate something within you, the playful side of you, within the discipline and construct that you've been aligning to yourself with. I'm saying all of this, and I haven't mentioned the third eye. The third eye construct, pituitary pineal gland axis, yin and yang pair, along with certain bone constructs such as your external occipital protuberance on the back of your head, along with your heart, along with actually your spleen, your feet, your toes, and your lower dantian. All of this is required to activate and open, so that through psychosis, you gather the missing parts of what's been missing. And when you're lost, and when you're decomposed or defragmented or fragmented, whichever way you want to say it, is where you rebuild something new of a mental, biological, soulful, and a physical construct that they don't want you to create, because it's going to offset the imbalance of the sick patriarchy here. So instead, they're going to sell you, just open up your third eye. And yes, that is the quickest way, going back to the beginning of this video, and it's the most viable way to arriving to psychosis, to where you wouldn't even have the capacity to want to even connect with me so that I can help you, because I do work in the realms of also as an acupuncturist and a distance healer and activator on the higher levels and the lower levels, as far as with what humanity is approaching alongside with me when we're working together when it comes to sickness. Is that when somebody's fragmented, they don't know what to do with themselves. As long as they have an opening, usually one treatment will get them back. Either one treatment or either one treatment with acupuncture or one distance healing session or one-on-one online talk activation. That's all that's usually required. And sometimes it's 2 or 3 or 4 sessions. But that first session, you're going to see much of you coming back. So much of the school is also that there are beings here with no judgment, is that they must get lost. They must lose all of themselves, and they must lose everybody outside of themselves. You know, they must turn into crackheads, heroin addicts. They must lose limbs due to not taking care of their bodies. They must. It's because they're working on something on the other side that is far superior for the rational, thinking, intellectual mind to work with and to relate. So what I just said sounds crazy, but it is and it is not at the same time. So I don't know, let me know if this is something interesting, because then I can start opening up more talks with Qigong. And because this is a lengthy video, I would have liked to follow it up with actual teaching videos, but it's easier when it's live, one-on-one, because then it's more fun. No editing involved or related. So if you need to schedule or would like to schedule with me, we can also work with Qigong. And even if you work with Qigong, we'll work with prescribing something, not to change your way of training. No, it's not the point. It's not to change your way of training so that you can follow my school. No, I don't offer a school that way. It's to enhance who you are and to help you to remind yourself, if this is the case, of coming back home to yourself. And if you're working with your third eye construct and crazy shit's happening, it's not to tell you to stop. It might tell you to pause and to work and to enhance that. Maybe working with that allowed you to arrive to this video. It's all good, you know? Damn, another video. I want to get into the dragon. But at least you get enough of the snake, you know?